I'm back to school, night, day, midnight, whenever, because it's asynchronous. This is a video about 8th grade social studies for 2020-2021. My name is Brandin. With students, I use the prefix mix, which is spelled mx dot. That's a gender neutral prefix. And I use that in part because I'm a non-binary person and I use the pronouns they, them, and theirs. I am new to BU, as many of you are, and I am coming from Platt Middle School. This is my 10th year in Boulder Valley. I have taught 8th grade for, I don't know, 7 years, 8 years. I also have taught social studies for 6 years. I have not taught 8th grade social studies. So I am not new to 8th grade. I am not new to social studies. I am technically new to 8th grade social studies. So I'm really happy to be here at BU, where BU teachers have spent years carefully crafting an 8th grade social studies curriculum, and I am now taking that on. I wanted to just give you really big overview of who I am, like kind of philosophically, and some stuff to set us up for success this year. So the thing that guides me the most in my decisions as a teacher, both pedagogically and just curricularly, is that I firmly believe that in social studies, all students need to feel like they can be their authentic and true selves in the classroom space. They need to know that all aspects of their identities are going to be said yes to, that this class is going to say yes to who they are and not shut them out. And that doesn't mean that the class is always going to say yes to their opinions, and it doesn't mean the class is always going to say yes to their beliefs, but it is going to say yes to their identity and who they are as people. And the reason that I really have that as the core of my pedagogy is that I view the purpose of social studies to be to guide students through learning and take them through the process of learning, which can often be messy and uncomfortable and discomforting. And especially in social studies, it might mean learning that a way we view the world is not how others view it, that an event in history is not everything we thought it was, and being open to the perspectives of other people and challenging our own held beliefs, or maybe biases about those things. And it is not possible to get uncomfortable in that messy work unless you are first comfortable to be who you are and know that you can show up as your authentic self. That's why I believe it's so important that students know that they can be their true selves in this classroom space. Because learning is not always receiving new information. It is often unlearning previously held information and relearning maybe a new perspective or a new point of view. In any year, I always view communication as sort of a linchpin of success for students, because I see sort of like this triangular partnership between students, their supportive adults, and me. But this year, that communication is just the absolute bedrock of a student's success and how successful they will be. A lot of what we as adults think of as kind of automatic assumptions about virtual learning are just not instinctual to students. I know for 8th graders, often we think that this is a year in which we are really pushing not just self-advocacy, but true academic independence in preparation for high school. And that is still definitely a goal. And I also think it is not entirely reasonable to assume that students will be able to take that on in a completely asynchronous virtual environment. In a physical brick and mortar classroom, students often know more than we do, right, about their day-to-day lives, just even from a practical perspective, right? They know how to get from their locker to the bathroom to the best drinking fountain to math all within 3.5 minutes. That sort of day-to-day routine and the things that will set students up for success in a virtual environment are things that we as adults have maybe spent years carefully honing and are not as instinctual to our students. So with that being said, I know that many adults right now feel that it might be a little invasive to be checking your students' grades in Schoology or looking at the messages they're receiving. You as an adult have a Schoology account, and you have one for a reason. And I cannot emphasize enough how important I think it is that adults be checking their Schoology and their messages along with their students. I'm going to communicate with you generally in 3 ways. Email, which would be if I really need to directly contact you, Schoology messages, and just Schoology content in general, like grades and comments. I would highly, highly, highly suggest that at least 2 times a week, you and your student are sitting down together and actually practicing the skills of finding this information. So like, okay, Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're going to sit down together. Student has their device, adult has their device, and you're going to check. You're going to go into your courses. You're going to check your messages, and you're going to see what's in there, because you should have the same things. For example, your teachers, and I know I'm for sure doing this, are always messaging the whole class, including adults, when they've updated grades. So checking your messages and saying, okay, Mix Brandon says they updated grades. Let's go check our grade. And then checking the grade, and then celebrating a great grade, checking comments to see what improvements could be made, and then just double checking and saying, oh, we don't have a grade. What does Mix Brandon say to do if we don't have a grade? Oh, they say email them. So now let's email them. So just that executive functioning piece and practicing that is the best way I think we can be supporting students right now. I'm trying to do that by putting information in lots of different places, by communicating hopefully too much. Hopefully you're like sick and tired of hearing from me. But I think the more we do that with students, the better set up for success they will be as this year unfolds. And finally, my office hours are Monday and Thursday from 11 to 12. Please encourage your student to come. It's just kind of a time for me to go over things. And if they ever need to ask me something one-on-one and they are unsure of how to do that, I can like make a private meeting so other students leave and it's just our private time. And then please call or email with questions, or just to say hi. I miss being able to see adults during back to school night and get to know them. So please feel free to reach out. And as I tell your